Councilor King.
So there's not a hill I'm going to die on because just the way it is. But I'm very disappointed in the report you just gave because I don't think you addressed any of the issues that we initially looked at for withdrawing from the MMA. So I was invited to one meeting that the mayor had with the executive director of the MMA, and the very issues that we were concerned about, namely the transparency of the organization that we're spending all that money with, was never addressed. And he pretty much said, I believe you were there, he wasn't going to address it. They're not going to tell us what their budget is. So this is an organization that's obtaining money from 349 right now of the 351 cities and towns. And they won't tell us what they do with it. And I think you're being a little generous with your description of the costs. So it is almost $20,000, as you stated, for our membership. But for the sub-organizations that you discussed, we have to pay additional fees for them to be members of them. And if we go to their events, we pay fees for their events. As you pointed out, we paid, I'll take your word for it, $245 for the annual conference. And we don't seem to have any regulations as to who goes. I've seen various people there over the years, but that's a lot of money. If we send 10 to 20 people, you're talking $5,000 more. So we're spending an awful lot of money in this organization, which is not transparent. And then it comes down to they throw a great party. It's fun. I agree, and it sounds like it'll be a wonderful party at the Seaport next year in the new convention center. I'm so happy they're moving over there, and maybe we'll be back in, and we can all look forward to it and spend more money over there. So it is a great party, and I'm being somewhat facetious, but I'm serious. It's a great party. But what do they do for us for our money? If we all want to go to a party, I don't think we should be spending taxpayers' money to going to a party. And even the long list you gave tonight in preparing for this meeting, I would beg to differ, and we don't have to argue it tonight, that is anything that they're really advocating for. What have they accomplished on Beacon Hill? Give me one piece of legislation in the last decade that was sponsored by and promoted by and brought to succession by the MMA on behalf of municipalities. There isn't one. Now, every once in a while, they can be helpful and oppose something. They're very good at opposing things. And one of the reasons they have trouble initiating anything is because the interests of every city and town in the Commonwealth are so different. They're not the same. So they really can't do it. So we spend an awful lot of money on an organization that the only thing that I really see them doing is throwing a big party. And I'm happy we enjoy it. And you're right. I also agree with you. There's networking at that party. But there's other ways we can network for a lot cheaper than $30,000 plus a year. And I give the administration credit for not allowing people to stay overnight and things like that, because in the past administration they did, and there was large amounts of money spent to do that. And that's been cut back, so that cuts our costs back somewhat. So like I say, it's not. I think this budget coming up is going to have plenty of problems, and and I'm happy you can find $30,000 more for the MMA, but I can't imagine where you're going to find 10 or 15 million for the other things that people want to do around here. So that'll be exciting to see how you do that. I'm more interested in the 10 or 15 million that we have to be looked for than the 30,000 for the MMA. But I do think we should not lose sight of the fact it's not a transparent organization, and it has not really provided any specific services to this city that I can see that anybody can really state other than networking and ability to go to parties and join organizations. And if we want to spend our money that way, like I say, it's not a hill I'm going to die on anymore. I've made my point. But I'm very disappointed that the administration is bringing this back forward, and I'm very disappointed that they were not asked to come to us. That was one of the promises before, to see if Mr. Chapdelaine would come here. It was Mr. Beckwith before him. No one has shown up here to do it. And to me, they want us on their terms, and if we're going to go, that's the way it is. But those are my concerns.
Councilor Malik, then